Have you guys ever, tried to a few months ago, I'll just put it like this. A few months ago, I was like, "You know what? I gotta start losing weight again. I'm getting a little fat." Okay, and I found out that I was getting fat because I went to trim my pubes and then realized later on when I saw myself in the mirror that I had left a strip, above the top because I could not see it, which is a classic fact if you guys have ever been there, but, skinny guys, you haven't, but other fellow fats, you may have. So, yep, had nice little, unibrow for the one-eyed monster, and I was like, "Okay, so I gotta start trying to lose some weight." Now, I struggle with eating food here and there, I get a little picky, a little peckish, I overindulge, to say the least, and I don't know if you guys have I may have talked about it on here, my sub 30-minute 21 mini eclair run, which I did that without trying. If I put some effort in, I could fucking slam mini eclairs, okay? They come in packages of 30. I could fucking crush way more than 30. But anyway, I haven't been doing great in the weight loss depart I've been doing good in the going to the gym and lifting the weights, but in terms of weight loss, I haven't been doing good because 'cause I'm not good at dieting anymore, apparently. I was when I was in the military, and now I apparently I've just lost all control of my ability to limit what I consume. So, I realized recently, which was very humbling, that I have reverted back to little kid, I have puffy fat kid nipples. You know what I mean? Like when you got, and it's just a little like rounded little fat kids, previous fat kids or current fat kids. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When you're just a little kid, you don't know any better. Maybe like right around puberty, you gain a little weight. You're not like fucking rolling over, but you got some little boy tits. It happens. Okay, let's not shy away from it. It does happen. It's the worst. But what are you gonna do? Now I am 27. About a month out from being 28, and I have recently seen in my reflection that have returned to puffy fat kid nips, and it's a brutal, brutal awakening. Like to the point where I'm in this fantasy football league with a bunch of other stand-up comedians, and the punishment for losing the league is you have to do a week's worth of stand-up with a crop top and short shorts on. And obviously, it's winter now. I'm gonna push that off until the summer, but I almost need that for the motivation to get into good shape. That might be the only hope that I have because my sister is an amazing, baker, and she just can't help but fucking throw together these fucking delicious goods, and it's become a real problem for me that I have come to realize. So that sucks, but there's a lot of fats who watch football, and there's a lot of fats who are in football. So it's fucking let's get into this thing. Boy, let me tell you, when that snow started falling in Buffalo yesterday, I knew we were in for something special. Cause I don't mess around with the snow. All right. Some folks, they see this snow and they think, oh, how pretty. Not me. I'm out there, I'm checking the wind direction like I'm on expeditions, tapping the railing, test the ice. I'm saying stuff like that's so wet snow, real sticky, football kind of snow. And sure enough, what happens? Bengals come out of the gate, snowblower, fresh pavement, vroom, just plowing through, up early, looking like they've shoveled this walkway before. But the Bills, oh, the Bills. How are you now? They're like your neighbor Gary. He waits until the snow is at its absolute worst before he even thinks about going outside. But when he does, he's out there 6 hours. Hood up, head down, heavy duty shovel, no brakes, no mercy. And by the time he's done, you're wondering, how? How did he move that much snow without dying? That was Buffalo yesterday. I tell you, slow start. Then suddenly, they're cranking the metaphorical Arians Deluxe 28-inch two-stage snow thrower and taking the lead back. Bills come out of home. A little snowy victory. Snow guy approved. Bengals. Well, maybe next storm. Bengals 34. Bills 39. That was the new snow guy who guys coming in to do all the weather-related games. He's just Snow Guy. He doesn't have a name. He's Snow Guy. Um, Bengals 34, Bills 39. I mean, the Midwest Snow Guy, he said it. The Bengals came out hot. They were looking good. They were looking like that dangerous team that you didn't want to be caught up with, just like how we kind of knew they would be after last week. When it was like, oh, okay, like with Joe Burrow, this team is very alive. I said I was wrong last week. I was like, I didn't realize that he was going to make that much of an impact just in terms of winning. I mean, you knew he was going to put up points because the offense is set up for you to put up points. Um, but I didn't realize the impact it would have on like the defense. Now I'm kind of starting to think that maybe the Ravens were just bad. Because the Bengals, they put up 34 against the Bills defense. And fits very nicely with the prediction I kind of had going in, where it was like the Bills defense I just trust more than the Bengals defense. And that's exactly they got the stops when they needed the stops. But it was scary at first. There was a point in the game where I was like, okay, we might not win this one. Now, publicly, it is just between you and me. Publicly, I was like, never a doubt on this game. This is 100%. Doesn't matter if the Bills are down 21-3 or whatever the fuck it was. The Bills are going to win this game. Now, that's my public stance. Internally, I was very worried. I'll be honest. I was very worried because you gotta be able to stop the Bengals. And that's really hard to do when Joe Burrow, he's so good. He's not as good as Josh Allen. He had some insane fucking throws and some great runs, but Joe Burrow's very, very good. If he could just stay fucking healthy, stop worrying about his fucking fashion. Um, but it was such a good weekend to be a Bills fan. Was it a great weekend for me, football wise? It was dampened a little bit. We'll get to that, but I liked a lot of it. I mean, all week, if I'm being honest about my weekend, it was a lot of I was sitting and watching TV, and then I would put a football game on my laptop and watch the football game while watching TV. And then while I'm doing that, it was a lot I was watching Yellowstone. I had some realizations. So I've been watching the Yellowstone franchise in chronological order. 'Cause I'm fucking, I'm pretty sick like that, and, so I was watching chronological order, watched the first episode of the original Yellowstone show that came out in, like, 2018 or whatever, and I realized, like, you know how there was that big boom of, like, Dodge Ram pickups being bought? It's all because of this show, because they depict the coolest guys in the show, like, they drive either brand new Rams, fucking 3,500 dualies, just the biggest truck that you can find, or one guy drove like a 1992 Ford F-150. So it's all like the boom of Dodge Rams, I couldn't figure out why they had grown so popular seemingly out of nowhere. It's because of this fucking show. It's 100% because of this show. It's insane. It's the socioeconomic impact that Yellowstone has had is wild to me. I don't know if socioeconomic is the right way to use that word or phrase or what. I don't even know what it qualifies as, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think I've ever used socioeconomic correctly once in my life, and I don't think that has changed with this statement. But I'm not a Dodge Ram guy, I'm a Chevy guy, and thus far, after watching the first season of Yellowstone, I feel very slighted not seeing a Chevy truck being represented in this TV show, and that needs to be rectified. Will it? Probably not. I mean, I have 4 seasons left, so I'm not holding my breath, but it's not impossible, okay? But I don't like Dodge Rams at all. I'm not really sure why. I think it's because they've grown in popularity and I like Chevy more. Grew up in a Chevy household, own a Chevy myself. I'll never own a Dodge. This is what I'm out on them. And that may be bias. And it may be fucked up. I don't know how I got onto this. Oh yeah, so this weekend I just I did nothing. I had a fat guy weekend, which isn't great. If you listen to the cold open, I'm not like helping my chances of getting rid of the nips. But here we are. Snow game in Buffalo. It's one of the best. It's one of the things that I love about being a Buffalo fan is the snow games. And a lot of places get them. The next game we're going to talk about, Titans, Browns, they get them in Cleveland. But there's just something different about it being in Buffalo. I don't know if it's the amount of snow they get, if it's just like I can't explain. I don't have words for it. I love a snow game in Buffalo. It's the best snow games in the league tend to happen in Buffalo. I mean, LaShawn McCoy, you're watching it and you can't even see where he's moving. He's the only guy who keep his feet in the snow like this, but it's a fucking blizzard. No other teams are playing in the blizzard. Buffalo's the only one that does it. At least it seems. I know that's not accurate, but that's how it seems. I mean, Cincinnati's a cold weather team, and so they're barely phased, but Buffalo just wins games in the snow. There's something special about Highmark Stadium in the weather. Now they're building a new stadium that they're going to be in next season, and I hope that they're doing something that's supposed to like keep the wind levels down or fucking whatever. And I just hope it doesn't ruin the snow games. I hope we can keep those because those are just something to behold. They'll have fans come in and shovel out the stands and stuff. People are happy to do it. I would if I lived closer, I would do it. I'd go every time there was snow, I'd go to a snow game. For one, if I could afford it. I'm very poor. But two, if I also lived closer, I'd go to every snow game because there's just something about it in Buffalo. Now to the actual game. We got away from this a little bit. All right. My bad. As the snow guy was saying, Bengals 34, Bills 39. It, it's kind of what you thought it would be, a high scoring game between two really great quarterbacks. I think Josh Allen has showed again why he's the MVP. He's the reigning MVP. Will he win the MVP this year? Not without the wins at this point. I don't think he's going to have enough wins to do it. Do I think he's had some MVP moments? Yes, of course. The Bills, something seems different about it. Seems like they've turned a little bit of a corner because, God, just something seems special about this season, but I don't know. I mean, I'm saying that, but 2 weeks ago, I was like, "Oh, we're fucked. We are fucked." Because we're losing to teams that I just don't consider to be as good as Buffalo is. But we're beating all the teams that were like the past rivals. We 15-point comeback against the Ravens. We've beaten the Bengals. We've beaten the Chiefs. We beat the Chiefs by one score. Beat the Bengals in a shootout. Came back against the Ravens to start the season. But now it's like um we have these new kinda they're not rivals yet, but the Texans are fucking really scary. Um, the Patriots seem like they could be dangerous. I don't think they'll win the Super Bowl, but, I mean, they can win a playoff game, and that includes against Buffalo. Uh, I think my favorites in the AFC right now is Buffalo because it seems like it's the only team that's kinda been there. And we're getting into late show talk. I'm supposed to be I'm watching the highlights, but the highlights have moved on because I had a technical difficulty with my laptop. So the highlights have moved on off the Bills-Bengals game and are now almost done with the Titans-Browns game. So, summarize Bengals-Bills. Joe Burrow is great. Jamar Chase is great. T. Higgins, I'm sorry he got hurt. The Bills' defense is not good, but the Bills' offense seems like it's returned to form for what we were seeing at the beginning of the year, and I hope it stays that way through this end of the year run. I hope it was just couple flukes that we had to get rid of. Moving on, because now I'm falling behind the set list here. Titans 31, Browns 29. I was so confident, not in the Browns, not in Shador Sanders. I was so confident in the Browns defense to slow down this Titans offense that's just not good. Like, they've shown nothing to be like, "Oh, shit, they're fucking a legit." I haven't seen that at all. But no one has. And so the confusing part about it is how the best defense in the league gave up 31 fucking points to the Tennessee Titans the 1 week that I bet on them. Their over-under, when I looked, minus 121 odds or whatever it was at 14.5. I bet it to go under 13.5 total points from the Tennessee Titans because I thought this Browns defense was gonna fuck them up. And you know what? They didn't. Tennessee actually scored its highest point total of the entire season. Like, what the fuck was that? I think I'm bad luck, if I'm being completely honest. I think in terms of gambling this season, I am incredibly bad luck. Every time that you see a trend and I bet on it, that's when the trend will fail. Trevor Lawrence this year, he's fucking looking good. I've had him on my fantasy team the past couple seasons, and he has sucked. And now this year, he's fucking winning games like crazy. The Indianapolis Colts, bet on them to win the Super Bowl, and now Daniel Jones has torn his Achilles. Bet on Jonathan Taylor to win the MVP. He's had one multi-scored touchdown game since then. He was on pace to have like 8. He had 4 through the first 8 games of the season. I think he's had 1 since then. Like, what the hell's happening? I think I'm bad luck. I don't know how to fix it, but if you guys have any tips, fucking comment them, leave them down below, something, because something's gotta fucking give. But this is fucking crazy. Like, I mean, fuck me. Like, every time I think something's going to happen and it makes perfect sense for that thing to happen, and I bet on it, the complete and total opposite is what goes on. Like, even this past weekend, didn't bet a lot. on championship weekend in college football. And lo and behold, I bet on one touchdown score from Alabama. He's the only player to score on the Alabama team. Okay, got a little something going together here. I had won the this day in history bet on Friday night, Saturday afternoon. Won the straight bet on Alabama touchdown score. I can't even remember his name. And then got rolling into Saturday night, Big Ten championship. I was like, oh, Indiana, and Ohio State. First off, let me get what's his name, Jeremiah Smith. I always mess his name up. He's the best wide receiver in college football. Like, I bet on him for a touchdown in Indiana plus 7.5. The line was like plus 3.5. I bumped it down for the parlay. I took the most likely guy to score a touchdown and bumped it to, oh, Indiana will keep it within a touchdown. Indiana won outright, but fucking Ohio State couldn't move the ball to save their fucking lives. They're throwing the ball. Like they're within like first and 10 on the 15. Like they're in the red zone, ready to score fucking points, and they don't follow through. They score one touchdown all game, and it's like, fucking come on. So it's just bad luck. And that's my biggest takeaway from the Titans-Browns game. I'll say this about the Browns. Shedeur Sanders, 300 some odd yards. You know who hasn't done that? Drake May. So, God, maybe Shedeur Sanders should be in the conversation for MVP. I mean, he's had a 300-yard game. Drake May's never done that. Drake May, 294 yards, career high. He's never thrown for 300 yards. And we're going to make this guy the MVP? I think it should be Shedeur. If it can't be Josh Allen, it should be Shedeur. Kendrick Perkins said he's the most important black man since Barack Obama. I think he's right. I think Shedeur holds that level of grace and fortitude. Now, if I'm being realistic, I'm really just not a Shedeur Sanders fan. I don't really know why. I think it's all the pre-draft stuff and just the fucking attitude and the energy. And I'm not saying it makes him a bad quarterback. I just like my quarterbacks to be a little bit more humble, I suppose. And he doesn't do it for me. There's nothing wrong with him. He doesn't do it for me. I don't see him. He doesn't seem special the way you would want. I think there's a lot of quarterbacks coming out who are going to be much more successful than he is in this next year's draft. Yeah, I don't buy it on Shedeur right now. My opinion could change. I was wrong about Trevor Lawrence. I thought he fucking sucked, and now he's great. So, who fucking knows? Titans 31, Browns 29. Oh, we just covered that game. Colts 19, Jags 36. I think, we owe remembrance to Daniel Jones. He's an American hero, an icon, a true second chance wonder story from beyond tales of explanation. He's the blueprint for maybe you're not bad, maybe you just play for the Giants. And it's sad. It's very sad that he has torn his Achilles. I wish that didn't happen. It completely ruins the Colts season, which really fucking sucks. They're 8-5 now. They were 7-1, I believe, at one point, and now they're 8-5, and it's just sad to see. To see the season go the way that it has turned out after this game. It's my fault. I bet on them to win the Super Bowl this year. So I never should have done that. That's truly on me. Uh, Big apologies to Daniel Jones for your injury. I wish that hadn't have happened. No part of me wanted that to happen. Obviously, I'd never root for injuries. But if I did, it would be for Patrick Mahomes, not you, Danny Dimes, not you, Indiana Jones. I hope you come back next year better, stronger, bigger than ever. Some yoked ass Achilles. There's this certain toughness that he's show. You could see it when he went down. He was immediately like he's slamming his helmet on the ground. You knew that he knew something was wrong. He's been playing with this like fucking missing leg or whatever he's got going on with his fibula femur. What I don't remember the injury. He had an injury on one leg and was playing through it. And then tore his Achilles on the other, and it's like, God damn, you just wish that wouldn't have happened to a guy who really kind of he was having a redemption arc. You know, he was doing things that Peyton Manning had never done with the Colts, that Andrew Luck had never done with the Colts, and you're like, whoa, this guy has fucking found a new home, and now it's like, well, now he's done. That's my big takeaway is that the Colts are done, and that sucks because now I've lost money, and it's my fault. The other story is that the Jaguars might be good this year, and that really fucking bothers me a lot because I decided this year that I was done liking Trevor Lawrence and the prince that was promised, and so because he's cost me too many times in fantasy football, and I think he's a sham and a joke and a bitch. But also turns out that he's none of those things, and he might actually be good at football because he keeps finding ways to win games this year. They're now 9-4 and infuriating me. Um, am I scared of them? No, I don't think they're a realistic Super Bowl potential team, but they could be a problem for a game or two. That's the thing with the playoffs this year is there's a lot of teams that could be a problem for a game or two, but I'm having trouble seeing a team that could win it. And just in terms of the AFC, the NFC is it's hard to see who could win it because there's an overwhelming amount of good teams. Like you can't tell who will win it because there's so many teams who you think could win it. And then in the AFC, there's so many teams where you're like, I have no fucking idea. I don't think so. Which tells me that it's probably going to be an NFC Super Bowl year. But the Jaguars, I think they could win a playoff game. I think the Pats could win a playoff game. I think the Texans could be scary, but I don't think their offense is good enough to last through the playoffs. The Bills, you worry about their defense, but they can go toe to toe with anybody. Any given Sunday, Josh Allen's the MVP for a reason. I don't care what the award says this year and who it goes to. Josh Allen's going to be the MVP for me. I think the Bengals, I don't know if they're completely out. The Ravens are not scary at all. Pittsburgh isn't really scary at all. If the Chiefs find a way to sneak in, which I don't think they will anymore, I think it's too many things have to go their way that are outside of their control. They could get in, but they're not scary at all. It's like, who is the team in the AFC? When you look at the NFC, you've got the Rams, the Bears, the Packers, the fucking the Eagles, the Lions. Like, there's so many teams where you're like, "Oh, shit, okay," like, they're a legit team. And then you look at the AFC and you're like, "I don't know who's even good on this side of the league." Like, it's a really weird place to be this year, which really sucks because I thought this was gonna be the Bills' year, and now it's like, we don't know who's good, but that could lend itself in a positive way. That could lend itself to Well, we thought we don't know who's good, so take the team with the most experience. You know, it's like in the NBA, the Oklahoma City didn't Thunder didn't show up in the playoffs and win their first time out. It took a year or two. SGA, he's been in the league for like 7 years. You know, Peyton Manning didn't win right away. Tom Brady, I think, did, but that's a fluke. We don't, we'll keep GOAT level people out of this. Uh, Pat Mahomes, I don't think he won his first year. Belichick didn't win till he was with the Patriots. He was the head coach of the Browns before that. Andy Reid didn't win one until he made it to the Chiefs, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he won one with the Eagles or not. But it takes a couple years to win a championship, but that's just kind of how it goes. And the Bills have the most experience in that front. And in terms of who's in the playoffs right now, and I'm hoping that that is what translates to victory. Did Trevor Lawrence dye his hair? What the fuck was that? I don't know if that's true. So, yeah, no, he had to have dyed his fucking hair. How have I not heard about this before? So, as you guys know, I watched the NFL highlight reels on YouTube while I'm doing the show. And I just fucking saw that what the fuck was that? I just saw Trevor Lawrence does not have his light, bright looking fucking red hair, blonde hair, whatever the fuck he had. He didn't have that. His hair was dark as fuck. That can't just be from sweat. No, I gotta look this. That's fucking crazy. If he dyed his hair and now he's fucking good, that'll piss me the fuck off. Okay, so they're saying his hair was like a light brown or blonde. Trevor Lawrence. This is great podcasting. Dark hair. Maybe it was just the sweat. It looked like it was fucking black, dude. His hair looked fucking black. I don't buy. No, I'm calling great debate gate on that. No, no fucking way. I think Trevor Lawrence has secretly dyed his hair in the middle of the game at the very least. No fucking way, dude. His hair was so dark. And when you look at pictures of Trevor Lawrence, his hair is not that dark. At any it looked black in the end of those highlights, dude, showing him walking off the field. It looked fucking black. I can't believe I'm so baffled by this. If this guy dyed his hair, that's why he's good. He sold his soul. He traded his signature look for a fucking dub. For just to make it into the playoffs, that's what he had to do. He was like, I'm tired of being the prince who was promised. I need to become the dark prince, dude. The dark prince of Jacksonville. That that's what I'm going with now. He's the dark prince of Jacksonville, dude, because no fucking way, bro. No way. I can't believe I'm so baffled by this. This isn't great podcasting. This is just me reacting to something I just saw and I've heard no one else talk about. We're just fucking breezing past it. I'm fucking calling Diegate on this, Hairgate. I don't even know what to call it. But it's a fucking gate of some sort. Trevor Lawrence has dyed his hair. He's no longer a light blonde, light brown, long-haired gentleman. The prince who was promised. He's the fucking dark prince, dude, with dark hair. Fuck that guy. If that's why he's good now, because he changed his fucking hair, I'll be so goddamn pissed that he's not on my roster. I'm going to be so tuned in to Trevor Lawrence hair color for the rest of the season. And probably the fucking through the off season, the start of next year, if he for any moment has darker than light brown / blonde hair going forward, I'll be pissed. I'll be all over it. This is a story I am fucking on top of. T-Law hair. T-Law I don't know. I'll come up with a fucking name for it, but this is such fucking bullshit. I don't like that at all. This seems like he's a traitor. It seems like he's sold out to win, doesn't it? If Trevor Lawrence doesn't have the right colored hair. Fucking bitch. God, that sucks so much. Sucks so that shouldn't be a big deal, but that really did. That blew my mind a second ago. You know what else blew my mind? Not the final score, but something that I saw of this. Steelers 27, Ravens 22. I took the Steelers to win. That you just when these two teams play each other, you bet on the underdog. That's how it goes. They'll probably split this series. There's some big stories from this one. Most important being 56-year-old Aaron Rodgers ran a touchdown in by himself, faked a handoff, and scrambled from like the 10-yard line, I think, and scooted his fucking old ass across that end zone line. No one pushing him, no one tackling him, just fucking reached for it like a goddamn classic man playing some fucking old school. God damn, he looks so old. Some old school Pittsburgh football, just reminiscent of the Big Bensky ruffle and tumble and pushing his way into the end zone. That was one of the that's what a highlight for the season is Aaron Rodgers getting a rushing touchdown that he actually had to move for. I didn't have that on my fucking bingo card. I could tell you that. That was crazy. That's that's not the biggest story from this game. The biggest story is the Ravens. They are fucking cooked. They don't look good. Something's wrong with Lamar Jackson. I heard this stat the other day. I believe it's maintained true through this game. Lamar Jackson this season has not had a single carry that's gone over 20 yards. Now, for a guy who's supposed to be the best running quarterback in the league, he isn't doing a lot of running. Now, he hasn't played as many games this year. He's had an injury, which has been one of my biggest concerns for Lamar Jackson the entire time he's played, is that he used to get injured a lot in the playoffs or leading up to the playoffs, and I thought that was a big problem and why he shouldn't be MVP. And then he had a couple years where he was good and he was staying healthy. So he won the MVP, but then this year he goes down in the middle of the season and he doesn't look right. He doesn't seem to have that pop on the speed. I don't know if it's something like nagging his hamstring or what, but he doesn't look right. Now, again, I'm only going off the highlights of this game. I did not watch this game. But from everything I've seen in the past, social media, watching the highlights now, something's wrong with Lamar Jackson. Now, am I complaining? No, because I don't like Lamar Jackson. Because I'm a Josh Allen fanboy, which I will own. He's my quarterback, and I will die on the hill that he is good. There's been some debates between Lamar and Josh Allen before on who the MVP is, and I think it's Josh Allen every single time. Some people think it's Lamar Jackson every time. I've had this argument with people where like, oh, well, Josh didn't have as good of a record. He finished in like second place, but he had better stats. And they went, no, Lamar Jackson had the better record. So that's what matters. Okay, fine, if that's the way you want to play it. And then the following year, those people flipped their argument and they went, well, Josh Allen had the better record, so he should be the MVP this year. And they went, no, Lamar had the better stats. He's the MVP. And it's like, okay, how about you pick a fucking side? Because now I don't like Lamar Jackson, and it's not even his fault. Because he seems like a nice guy and a fun player, but now I fucking hate him. Because people who were fucking Lamar Jackson dick riders that just bend and twist the argument to fit their need just so they don't have to give it to Josh Allen. And it's like, hey, man, what does Josh have to do to earn your respect in the same way that you like Lamar Jackson? Because I'll tell you this, if Lamar is the best running quarterback in the game right now, we won't even talk all time. We'll just say in the game right now. Why does Josh Allen have more quarterback rushing touchdowns than Lamar Jackson? Because Josh Allen holds the record. So why doesn't Lamar have that? Why doesn't, if he's so much better and he's the MVP, why has he not been as consistent in the playoffs? Why does he fall apart in those bigger spots like that? What's up with that? Josh doesn't. And you, oh, well, he's never made it to the Super Bowl, let alone won one. And well, yeah, he's gotten stopped by the Chiefs a lot. But don't tell me Josh hasn't showed up. Josh shows up in big games. So what is it that makes Lamar better? I know this is very this has been a weird episode so far. I haven't been super on topic. Honestly, just haven't seen a lot of things worth talking about in terms of just the games. It's just the overarching stories this weekend that really caught my eye, and Lamar being one of them, where it's like, I mean, we'll just jump in and do Texans Chiefs right now too, because it's kind of the same thing. Texans 20, Chiefs 10. The Chiefs are done. They're cooked. I was saying this before. The old rivals of the Bills, when you're talking like, okay, who were the big dogs in, we'll just keep to the AFC. It was no particular order, but I'll say Chiefs first because they've won the Super Bowls. So let's say Chiefs, Bengals, Bills, Ravens. Those were like the four big teams in the AFC for several years because of the quarterbacks, because they had Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. I think those are the, coming into the season, at the start of the season, I'd have to reevaluate now. I think those were the top four quarterbacks in no particular order, Josh Allen being the best. In no particular order, those were the four best quarterbacks in the league. And now the Ravens don't look good. Lamar doesn't look good. The Chiefs look fucking broken. Joe Burrow obviously looks excellent, but he can't stay healthy, and the defense is so bad. His team can put up 45 points and lose games. It's fucking nuts. Like, so the only threat out of those like top four, those fucking big kings of the AFC, everyone's kind of toppled except the Bills. And that's because the Bills are the only ones who feel like they're going to make the playoffs right now. But even then, they have not looked the same. So are we looking at like, is it a new era for the AFC in terms of who the top dogs are? Because that'll be fucking crazy. That'll be absolutely insane. I want to say this about the Chiefs. This may just be a little bit biased, just a smidge personal opinion. Um, you know, and just purely based on vibes and what I'm seeing. And I get maybe a little biased, but I think Patrick Mahomes fucking sucks. I think he has a small wiener and isn't good at football, and he never was good at football. I don't think he's ever won anything. He's a big fat crybaby loser. Now, there may be a little bias involved with that, but I think those things are undeniably accurate, that he is hot garbage water poured into a baby diaper that was then filtered into a hobo shoe, but he sucks. And I'm glad that his team isn't good. I'm glad that Travis Kelce is going to retire. I wish him nothing but happiness in retirement, though I don't think Taylor Swift will give that to him. I think this is where their relationship becomes an ending relationship. or former relationship. How would you say that? If their current relationship becomes a former relationship, I guess that's how you would say it. I wish nothing but positivity for them in their lives. However, I also want them to never have success ever again. I think that would be nice. I think it's good to have that downfall, happen. How long does Andy Reid stick this out? Now that you guys suck, is he really going to go through another rebuild just because he has Patrick Mahomes or retooling? Like they've been slowly getting worse every year, and now they are bad. And, Pat Mahomes can't keep pulling it together like this and scrambling his way, scratching and clawing and getting the calls. There's two because he doesn't have the defense to help him. Chandler Jones is starting to feel like he's aging. The defense doesn't feel as sharp. Still good, but doesn't feel as sharp, though. I'm not sure the Texans' offense is the way to gauge that because I don't believe in CJ Stroud either. Yeah, the Chiefs are done. They're cooked. I hope they never make a comeback. I'm fucking so tired of their goddamn asses. Now, is that going to mainstay? No, it's not because the NFL is rigged and they don't like Buffalo to win things and they really like how well the Chiefs sell tickets and stuff. So we're going to see more of them going forward. And that's one of the worst things ever. But the other side of this story is that the Texans are fucking scary. Like, they could be a 12-win team. Their defense is so insanely good. Their defense is so insanely good that I don't know how to describe it. The From what I've seen the past few weeks. Now, I'm usually like okay, mix it up, watch different teams type of guy, unless it's the Bills. I always watch the Bills and then I try and sprinkle in some other teams as I go. Um the Texans, I've had the unfortune of watching them the past 3 weeks, not because they're bad, just because I am watching a potential big doom scenario for the Bills because these guys could fucking ruin the playoffs for us. Their defense is so fucking good. They stopped Josh Allen and the Bills. They stopped Daniel Jones and the Colts. And then after that, they stopped Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Now I know those offenses aren't what we thought they would be or what they are, but it's hard to it's hard to beat Josh Allen. It's hard to beat Patrick Mahomes, and that Colts offense is fucking really good when Daniel Jones was playing. Now it's Riley Leonard, who was the quarterback for Notre Dame, I believe. So we'll see how that works out, but their season's over. Um I I don't know what else to say. Houston is 8-5. They're a fucking dominant, scary force. I don't think their offense is good enough to make the Super Bowl because I don't think the Chiefs' defense is very good anymore. Um, and they were only able to put up 20 points. I'm worried that their defense is so good it doesn't fucking matter. D'Amico Ryans has put together a unit that should scare everyone in the AFC. They are a real shot to win the AFC South. They are a real shot to make it and win the AFC Championship. And that puts them right there to win the Super Bowl. This is something I did not think of until just this moment. This would be the craziest way for Nick Chubb to win a Super Bowl. Would it not? Holy shit, Nico Collins is so good. I'm watching their highlight reel. That was an amazing catch. Would it not be the craziest way for Nick Chubb to win a Super Bowl? To be what everyone thought was a washed up short yardage running back going to the Texans to not make a difference at all, and then their defense is so good that he fucking 1 yard in a cloud of nothing stumbling forward to a Super Bowl. I mean, he's got Woody Marks out there. Woody Marks has been really good. CJ Stroud is probably better than I give him credit for. I just am not a fan. But wouldn't this sting the Browns a little bit? You've come so far from the Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb days that you gave up too early on. Now, I wouldn't say he gave up on Nick Chubb. He's snapped his leg in some of the most gruesome leg injuries I have seen, and he did it for just a bad team every time, a bad Browns team every time, bad organization. You gave up on Baker Mayfield too soon. You gave up on Nick Chubb. Not too soon, very appropriately timed, but still. And it'll be nuts if the Texans, who you traded you traded to get Deshaun Watson from these guys. Worst contract in NFL history. You overpaid this motherfucker by about 59.8.9 however you get to $1 off of that, that's how much you overpaid him by. Because goddamn, if they find a way to win a Super Bowl behind this defense, yeah, then Houston, well done. You really, really found a way to shove it in the Browns' face for some reason that no one really knows why, but you fucking did it. I do not want to see these guys in the playoffs at all, and that goes for whatever team I'm a fan of. You don't want to face them in the playoffs. They will fuck you up. They will ruin your season. They are so goddamn good, and it's all defense. It is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. But they are the biggest culprit for end of an era. Because I think they may have even played the Ravens earlier this season and beat them. They fuck these boys up. They're so good. They may have single-handedly ended the reign of the four kings of the AFC. And that'll be a sight to behold when it happens. That is absolutely amazing that this is the case. And I feel bad for him. That's a lie. I don't know why I said that. I don't feel bad for him at all. I feel bad for everyone else. That came out wrong. You guys know what I'm saying. Which I think is the most important part, is that I'm not getting lost in translation to you. I think I got a little confused on myself there and a little rambly. So you guys like jazz? Do you like jazz? Fucking what? Bears 21, Packers 28. Okay. Been a long day. I might be losing a little bit. I'm trying to be a little more personal for you guys, give you some more anecdotes, but I get so heavy in my analysis that I kind of lose track of it sometimes. And I do get a little rambly, but that's fuck it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. There's 4 of us on this thing. We'll be all good. Bears 21, Packers 28. I had the Bears here. Had it on good authority that they would win. Almost did. And then they didn't. Because I bet on them, which does make sense. But they were kind of right there in this thing. I think they had a game-winning drive, and then Caleb Williams just kind of went against what I had said about him in the past, and that he's a winner. He's one of the greatest clutch quarterbacks in the league right now because he just finds a way to win these end of game situations, and then it just didn't go that way this time. Which is okay. Which is A-okay. Except that it isn't, though, because now you have to think like, okay, are they like, what are they in the playoffs? Now they've had a successful season, and on their backs. I stand by. I was right about them. I believe everyone else who thought they would suck, including their fucking fans, thought that they wouldn't be good. You were wrong in your face. You lost this game. You just have to split with the Packers. It's not the end of the world. You just have to split with the Packers. They're not that good. I don't think they're a legit threat to win the Super Bowl. Okay, guys, so we had a weird cutoff. I don't know what happened with the recording there. I must have fucked up the mic or something. So we cut off with the Bears game. I caught it now. That's fine. It actually gives us a kind of a fun opportunity. Now I usually record on Monday nights. Now it's Tuesday night. I'm just doing a little wrap up for the end of the show. But I had some interesting things happen that I didn't think to include in the show and have resurfaced since then. So it's given me an opportunity to talk about that. First, let's dive in. Monday Night Football. I don't usually talk about Monday Night Football on the show. It's usually on like Twitter and stuff just because my recording schedule. As you guys know, I do this by myself. So I record one night and then edit the next. That's how I do it. So I can post the following morning. That's how I do it. It's worked for me so far. So I don't usually talk about Monday Night Football. This time I am, though, because I have the opportunity. So the Eagles fucking suck. Like they're not like a bad team. They're just so fucking horrible to watch. Like, can we please stop seeing them in prime time slots and forcing everyone to watch like a fucking 10-7 game? I know this last game against the Chargers was like kind of a shootout with the back and forth field goal situation, but that was like one of the most boring games imaginable. That was like watching the Patriots Rams Super Bowl in like what was it 2018 when the final score was like 3-0 or whatever the fuck and we all wanted to kill ourselves for committing all that time setting up wing platters and pizza. Like that's how every Eagles game has felt this year. There hasn't been one like, holy shit, that was exciting type of game. And I've seen a lot of them because it seems like they're in a prime time slot every fucking week. Even when they're playing at like a 4 o'clock or a 4:30, it seems like they're playing against a team that I just genuinely want to watch. And so now I'm stuck watching a fucking dog shit, unexciting game for 3.5 hours. And it's like, why do I keep having to spend my time like this? Why are they forcing this team down our throat? Flex them out of these spots. They're boring ass fucking games. And honestly, they probably need it too. They're probably sick and tired of playing all these primetime games with all these fucking eyes on them. And they just want a little bit of space. Like, hey, let us not have like the national media pressure as we wind down the season. We're trying to make a playoff push. Just give us some space to breathe, to get some things together, and to think for ourselves. I don't think that's the most horrible thing for a team. I understand that point of view completely. I wanted that last year with the Bills. It felt like we were playing a ton of like these prime time games early in the season, and we were not playing super sharp, and it became like, okay, like, can you please just let let us get some space, get a little bit of a breath so that we can figure ourselves out and put ourselves together and work out some of these kinks without having to worry about how everyone is putting a national spotlight on us because it does get fucking old. And that was as a fan of the team. Now, I don't even fucking like the team that has that going on, and I'm like, "Jesus Christ, can we please maybe fucking stop? Because this shit sucks." Maybe I'm wrong. I could 100% be wrong, but it feels pretty right, and again, I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels this way, but fuck, let's flex these guys fucking out of there. I'm tired of watching these dog shit games. Jalen Hurts, I don't understand what's going on. How are you a Super Bowl winning and you're playing like this, he has better weapons than so many other I don't wanna hear the not that anyone's gonna say it now because it's completely impossible to do, but if anyone's gonna sit here and try and say like, "Oh, hey, like, we need to, start talking about Jalen Hurts in, like, a top 10 capacity because he's been to 2 Super Bowls and I think won 1." I'm pretty sure that's right. Fuck off. No. No, because frankly, he looks more like a fucking Russell Wilson than he does like a Josh Allen or Pat Mahomes. He does not look like a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I can tell you that. And it's a run heavy team, and the run game hasn't been good. They're different without Lane Johnson. Obviously so. Saquon is having a bad year. But what the fuck? You have AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, fucking Dallas Goedert. They've got other guys on there too. They have a receiving core that's like, yo, these guys are fucking good. So I don't understand what's happening. Like, why are they bad? Like, and it's a lot of it is Jalen Hurts, but I'm sure he thinks it's on fucking whoever their offensive play caller is, whatever the fuck, I can't remember his name. But then AJ Brown wants he's like bitching about targets, and then he gets 8 targets, they go for like 4 catches or something like that. Like, yo, you're only catching half your fucking passes. And I didn't watch the entire game last night. I watched a lot of I watched the ball hit his hands multiple times where he was in loose coverage and he just didn't bring it in. And it's like, you need to catch these balls because that's what your fucking complaint was. So when it hits you in the hands, you gotta catch it. No exceptions. But that does bring me to like another thing that I was thinking about. And that was I don't know if I'm happy about this or not, but I might be. But like the Patriots, this is the first time I've seen this, which is kind of crazy. I have heard Patriots fans like cheering and bragging and flexing that they had a game against the Ravens get flexed. So like they're fucking stoked that oh well, we get Sunday night football now because we're the Patriots. It's like no, because not because you guys are good, just because the Patriots and Ravens are gonna sell better in a prime time slot than the fucking Dolphins and Bengals game that they had there instead. Because when they scheduled this before, I guarantee you they were like, "Oh, this is gonna be a high scoring shootout kinda game." And now they're like, "Wow, no one really gives a fuck about either of these 2 teams. They're not in the playoffs, so why should we care?" And they're exactly right. They just looked at whatever week that is, week 18 or whatever, and they went, "Well, then what's the the team that I should be watching?" And they should be watching the Patriots and Ravens because on paper, that's a fucking better game than the Dolphins and the Bengals. Are you fucking kidding me? The audacity of these guys to to even be throwing this around like they have something is fucking wild to me. Now, has it been a lot of people saying this? No. Has it been a thing that I've heard from Patriots fans? Yes. Have Patriots fans told me that they're living rent free in my mind? Maybe they are. I'm not going to say that for sure, but I have been accused of such things from the Patriots fans who are close to me, which just so happen to be most of my friends because I live in Patriots Fanville. So I get that shit a lot. But to be using a fucking flex game as a brag, I'll say that I commend you guys for committing to your team in this way, because at least it feels a little bit like you guys are embracing being the villains again. Like, you guys are back to, like, when you were winning all those Super Bowls with Tom Brady, and then to start the season, you were like, "Oh, yeah, we're good, but we're not expecting much," and it was kinda like, like, "Fuck you," type of thing. Like, you haven't earned the right for people to be rooting for you. Everyone still fucking hates you. So just go back to being, like, the villain that we know that you are and that we view you to be, and this feels a little bit like we're leaning into that a little more. Everything is a flex, which is, like, good. I do kind of like that. Drake May still has not thrown for 300 yards in a single game because he's just not for the best deep ball passer in the league, supposedly. You'd think that he was a fucking yardage machine. No. For a guy who leads the league in passing yards, I'm pretty sure. I mean, he hadn't had his bye week yet. He just passed it, so I don't know where he ranks now after week 14 has ended. But he was just consistently throwing like 250, 75, whatever it was yards. And it's like, okay, like, yeah, that's cool. But like, where's your cool, like, showing up? Like, Shador Sanders threw for 300 yards before Drake May did. What's up with that? You guys should fix that. I don't know how I didn't talk about this the other day, but you guys need to fix that. Like, that's crazy. Can you just force it one time? Like, it's the end of the season. You're guaranteed in the playoffs, I'm pretty sure at this point. I think if you beat the Bills this weekend, you lock up the AFC East first seed. You just have your boy go out there and sling it. Unless you think he can't. Unless you think maybe fucking Drake May is a little bitch. And we're just ticking them off the list. We're going, Pat Mahomes, bitch ass. Lamar Jackson, bitch ass. Drake May on the next docket, fucking bitch ass. And you know who's going to stand alone at the top? Fucking number one, Josh Daddy Allen. He's going to rise up to the top, be the king, because that's what he is. He's the best quarterback in the league, the best player in the league. Watch him. That's what you want your quarterback to be. And guess what? Drake May will never be that good. He'll never get there. He will never have the fucking pure electricity that Josh Allen brings onto that field. He will never have the love and respect from the Patriots fan base that Josh Allen has from the Bills Mafia. And I will die on that fucking hill. I stand by that take. But that's all I have to do to wrap the show. I'll kick it over. How about this? Fucking, if you enjoyed the little bit of comedy in the show, you want a little bit more of me, go check out Rudy Tuesday. That's a comedy podcast I do with comedians Rudy Marinosi and bitch ass Breck Michael, who is a Patriots fan, who is one of the guys who tried to brag to me about getting the flex game spot. Breck, the Patriots suck. You suck. You're not winning the Super Bowl. You're not winning the MVP. You're losers. Go Bills. Go listen to Rudy Tuesday. It's a great show. It's very fun. We've upset many a people, but have also been called the most fun podcast that people have ever been a part of. And that is from an anonymous guest who asked to be kept anonymous. They said, "This is the most fun I've had on a podcast." So go check out that show. It's a ton of fun. Thank you for listening to the show. If you enjoy the show, please like, subscribe, listen to an episode on YouTube, listen to an episode Spotify, Amazon, wherever. Doesn't matter. I don't think we're on all the platforms, which I'm working on, but that is what it is. I'm not good at the tech stuff. I have to learn as I go, and I think I've made some early mistakes in distribution, but that's okay because we can salvage this. We can make this show good. And for you guys, I'm willing to do anything. I love you guys. Thank you for listening. Go Bills. Fuck the Patriots. And fuck the Chiefs.